new age conservatism is
Yeah.
classic liberalism in my
Yeah.
like just from looking at all the people who identify that way now. So that's where I've always been. And the Democrats, progressives, liberals, whatever you want to call them on that side, it's just the most toxic behavior I've seen from a group of people in a long time. Like, I've never met a religious person that was far right that treated me that way, the way the people on the left do.
Hey, I'm Dave Rubin, and joining me today is a former lefty turned conservative, a YouTube creator, and a card-carrying lesbian, here to talk about what's going on with the gay community. Arielle Scarcella, welcome to the Rubin Report.
It's been long overdue.
You
said this
been long
before we started
overdue.
taping, but like, girl, everyone says that I'm the female Dave Rubin, and at first I was like, do they mean that in a bad way? And some of them do, but like, I know it's a good thing, even though they might think it's a bad thing. So either way, I'm flattered. No matter how they mean it, I'm flattered either way.
Much obliged, and I'm glad you're here, and we are putting this interview out during Pride Month. The gays get a whole month. I introed you as a card-carrying lesbian. Is it true that lesbians have a card? Do you have some sort of laminated card?
I mean, I think it's more that we have to have a card because now we can't even define the damn word.
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody even knows how to define woman. We can't define lesbian. So I feel like we need to have a card that says like, this is what a lesbian means to me. This is the card. This is what I am. And this is what I want. Kind of like the gay hanky code back in the 70s, you know, when they had the hanky code.
Yeah,
the older
yeah.
gays get that reference.
The older gays get that. I get the reference, but it's a little bit before my time. But I wanted to have you on for a while because you are, when people say that you're the girl Dave Rubin or something to that effect, you left the left and you survived. So could we just do like a 2-minute recap? Because it's pretty recent for you. It's only in the last couple of years. You were a lefty and you woke up.
That's exactly what happened. I think looking back now, the past 4 years, you know, of my content making, because I'm an OG YouTuber. I've been making videos since 2009, like before YouTube was even a career option.
Yeah, that's before me. That's years before me.
Exactly. Like we were just online having fun, being kids. I was like 23 at the time, 24. And now, you know, looking back, my entire outlook on the community has changed. Back then, it was everybody was humble. Everyone got along. There was like some drama here and there, but usually it had to do with who was dating who and who broke up with who, not with how someone identified or who wants to sleep with who. And the last 5 years, I noticed a huge change in the YouTube community, especially the gay community, the LGBT community on YouTube. It became volatile, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce the word because I'm from New York.
I'll accept either one. You're a Brooklyn girl.
Right, but you know, it became it just toxic, honestly. And it started, I would say, with the trans community, and then it filtered into the bisexual, non-binary, queer, whatever, anything other than lesbian community, and then now it's starting to filter down into the gays and lesbians, and it started to hit me when I started making content about trans people, with trans people, by the way. Trans people were in the videos. But I got sick of feeling like everyone was attacking me for simply having a different opinion. And in my opinion, it wasn't even like a non-mainstream opinion. That's the weird part, right? Like this is pretty, like it's based on logic and science.
Yeah, what was your highly controversial opinion on the trans issue?
Oh my God, there's so many highly controversial transphobic opinions that I have, but one of them is I don't think somebody is a lesbian, you know, if they want to suck a dick. Can I say that on your show?
You can. I think it's the first time it's been said, but you know.
It's definitely the first time. But like, that's not controversial. It shouldn't be controversial, and somehow yet it is. I think socially it makes a lot of sense when there are trans women who present as women, like, you know, my friend Blair White, like my friend Ashley. Socially, they'll always be women because they no longer live their lives as men. Mm-hmm. And I have, you know, I've had that opinion for years, and I started speaking out, you know, about that kind of stuff because people don't realize that the two things can be true at once. You can be pro-trans rights, but also pro-women's rights. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, there's a line that's being crossed into women's rights territory. And that's when I started really seeing the divide with me and the left. And I was going to stand by my morals no matter what, because I'm a New York Italian. And I finally made a video. I actually connected with Tim Pool, who's been a friend of mine way before he got big on YouTube. I connected with him and I went over his house and I was like, I need help. Like, I don't know what the hell to do, but I'm being attacked constantly. I've lost 50 or plus creator friends of mine. And I also contacted my friend Sydney Watson, who I think you know, and she and Tim helped me write the video, and I posted the video, and I just prayed to God. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't. I was just tired of being mentally and emotionally abused. And I even made a video about that, about how all the tactics that the progressive left uses these days are emotionally, like psychological emotional abuse tactics. You know, like the whole thing, like trying to get you fired, making sure that you only talk to certain people, like crazy shit that I've been in abusive relationships before. I started seeing the red flags. I wasn't completely convinced at first because I was like, okay, just like they're just a bunch of kids. But then my ex-friends started doing it to me. And I was like, okay, like I have to put an end to this and not allow myself to be taken advantage of anymore.
So I think the $1 million question that all gay people get asked when they come out as anything other than progressive is, which was harder, to come out of the closet or to come out as a conservative or someone that is just non-progressive?
It was harder coming out of the closet to myself. It was harder coming out of the closet, that's as a gay person. It was harder coming out of the closet as a non-progressive to the world.
I mean, it's extraordinary.
It wasn't about, because it was about how they saw me, not how I saw myself. Like I always knew that I was sort of like, at this point in my life, I think I'm pretty much like physically conservative, socially libertarian, like live and let live, don't touch me, like let me do what I want with my body, pretty much. You know, don't take my money, give me my guns. Like I understand gun rights now.
Real right-wing extremist stuff.
Yeah, of course, like white nationalist, everything, but like that's where I'm at now. And I think part of it also is moving down to Florida part-time made a big difference in the way I thought, because, New York City is super progressive. Florida is a little bit more of a red state. And I got that perspective and it helped me, I guess, centralize maybe my opinions on certain issues. And I made, the best part of this all is I made better friends from it. Like better friends that, like now when I get like online bullied or harassed, whatever, the people that on the left never would help, never, ever would stick up for me. All the people on the right, all these terrible people that everyone's making it out to seem like they're terrible people, all of them always come to my defense every single time.
I know the feeling, sister.
Yeah. And it's mind-blowing to me how opposite it is compared to what the media portrays them to be.
Has it been kind of disappointing for you to see what you described with the gay community? I was never like really in the gay community in that way. I actually had a gay radio show on Sirius XM, so I guess I had like a year or two of my life that I was sort of in that world. But I never really felt like I was in it. I was also closeted later, and just the way my life was. It's just how it is. But to see now, like when people talk about the gay community, it seems like they've gone from being edgy and controversial and sort of subversive and interesting, and there was music and fashion and blah, 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 to now it's just like the worst sort of social preening, political hysterics. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have friends of mine that went to, they go to Florida Pride parades and they get harassed, like verbally, not, thank God, I don't think anyone's like thrown anything at them, but they get verbally harassed, like cursed at, and just for being a conservative, for believing in something different. He doesn't, my friend David, Brokeback Patriot. What's upsetting to me the most, I think, over the last 2 years is when and this is maybe an ego thing a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but it was also a comfort thing. When I used to go out to these pride marches and lesbian events or LGBT events, like, Playlist Live, VidCon, whatever, kids used to come up to me and cry, like actually, I'm not even kidding, like cry, telling me that I saved their life or I at least changed their life. I helped them come out of the closet, I helped them be who they are. And it's like, I'm the same person that I was back then.
Yeah.
I just am more honest and open with my opinions now, even though to me they're still pretty, mainstream opinions. Now when I go to pride parades and I go to safe spaces, I'm not even kidding. I don't feel safe anymore. Like I went to a gay bar in Tampa, and it could be just me being in my own head. I really don't know. My friends saw it too, though, so maybe it wasn't just me in my own head. There was an older trans woman, assumingly a trans woman, and I could have sworn she was staring at me. And my first thought, of course, is not that she's thinking about hitting on me. Like, my first thought is, oh my God, this person knows who I am and thinks I'm a transphobe and like is going to attack me. And I don't want to think that way, because like that's assuming somebody's something that they might not be. But it's gotten to that point. People, like I said, people used to come up to me, hug me. Now people at pride parades and events will come up to me in private and do one of these things.
Yeah.
Do they do that to you too? Like, I just want you to know.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say this out loud, but I really, really appreciate what you're doing. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, you can't say it louder. Like, they won't do it.
Yeah.
They're terrified. But you and I know at this point, most people agree with what you and I say.
That's what I think too, because I don't think nobody's happier because of this thing. It sort of was like when Pride Month rolled around, or I used to go to the Pride Parade in New York City, which is always the last Sunday of June, and my birthday's June 26th. So I actually met my husband, who I've now been with for 10 years, on my birthday at Gay Pride. Like,
I love that.
Believe it or not, and he was wearing an American flag tank top. It was all meant to be.
I love it.
But yeah, when I would go there, then people would sort of love me because I had this radio show and I was a lefty. And I don't really go to them anymore, but I did go to the Abbey, which is like the big gay bar of West Hollywood. I went about a year ago, and for the first time in my life, I was kind of worried, because I was like, I don't know what these people are going to think about me, exactly what you're saying. But I will say, not only did nobody say anything negative to me, but several people did come up to me, and I could tell they were a little nervous, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be seen with Dave, but they were like, Dave, I'm with you. So they are waking up. They are, because gays are supposed to be individuals, not group monolithic thinkers.
Yes, that's the whole point, isn't it? We were born different. And I think, and this is like a little spiritual lesson, but I think when you're born different, it's a gift, right? It's a gift to, being yourself because you're different is a gift, because you allow other people the chance to be themselves. You show them that it's okay. And I think if we are a monolith, I think that's the opposite of what our path is as LGBT people. We have the opportunity to be leaders, and we're being followers. And I refuse that,
Are you hopeful that we can turn this thing around? It seems like so much of the woke thing is attached to the trans thing, where every day there's another trans story. I even talk about it with my guys on the show when we're figuring out the rundown, and I'm like, I don't really feel like doing another trans story, just because we're overblowing this thing. I'm same with you. I don't care. I'll call you if you treat me with respect. I'll treat you with respect. I call Caitlyn Jenner a she. I don't have any problem with that. But that the issues, they've just bludgeoned us with these issues to the point that I actually think they're starting to cause a backlash. I actually think there's some backlash on the gays now too, because of this. Because they feel like, oh, see what happened? The gays became equal, and now look what happened. Now boys have vaginas and girls have penises. Yeah.
Right. No, and I agree with them. I agree with the people that it is a slippery slope. I think, which is why I call myself, like, in this sense, a conservative, meaning, to me, what a conservative means these days is a classic liberal. And I think that's how you identify. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Although I don't have a problem saying conservative at this point, but yes, my beliefs.
But new age conservatism is classic liberalism in my just from looking at all the people who identify that way now. So that's where I've always been. And the Democrats, progressives, liberals, whatever you want to call them on that side, it's just the most toxic behavior I've seen from a group of people in a long time. Like, I've never met a religious person that was far right that treated me that way, the way the people on the left do. Yeah. And
while they're telling you how tolerant they are, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's another abusive tactic, right? Gaslighting, like actual gaslighting. Like, I'm being nice, I care about you. Like, nah. Like, no, like, clearly you don't. Like, you don't respect me at all. I think that we have a long way to go, because people are so guilted right now into virtue signaling and trying to be the most wokest or the most woke. And I think that's because there's an extreme lack of self-awareness and self-worth from these people that are doing this kind of virtue signaling, whatever you want to call it. They need to be confident in themselves, especially the trans community, in my opinion. I'm gonna get shit for saying that, but you know what it is, anyone that's very different needs to get their act together, be okay with being different, and become a leader, and stop needing validation. They have to stop needing and wanting validation from everyone else, from the entire world. And I think once they do that and they show that, like Caitlyn Jenner, I think is a really good example, to be honest. I think she holds a lot of respect from a lot of people, even if they don't agree with her being trans. Not that you can't agree with being trans, because you can't fix it, help it. But even if somebody disagrees with her, I think they have a lot of respect for her because she speaks logically. And I think that's where the left is completely messing up. None of them are making any sense at the moment. None of them.
No,
it's all based on identity politics and, people wanting to be nice.
What do you say, or what advice would you have if there's like a young gay kid watching this, a 15-year-old that sort of understands that the woke thing is wrong? Because we also know that now the Zoomers, the young generation after Generation Y, they are leaning more conservative because they've seen this thing go so out of whack. But what would you say to a young gay kid, young girl who wants to come out but doesn't want to be completely just swarmed by that thing?
It's tough because I get messages more like that every day than people assume I get hit on all the time in my direct messages. It's not like that. It's always these types of messages like, what do I do? I'm more conservative, or I don't believe in this crazy shit that they're spewing. I don't know how to speak up. You have to figure it out. You have to figure out how to speak up as long as you're safe. Because in my opinion, I think this, if every single person that agreed with us spoke up, this would end tomorrow.
It would end tomorrow.
Like it would end today. It really would. Like it really would, because there are a lot more of us than them. And that doesn't mean that we're correct on the issue just because there's more of us. But in this case, I do think, it's just a bonus that there happens to be more of us, and we also happen to be on the right side of history, so to speak. Pun intended, I guess. Yeah. My advice would be, you're born to be different, and this is just another chance to be different and be proud of it, to think differently. Everyone's scared these days to think differently, and if you can do that and prove that that's okay, and know that that's okay to yourself, and show others that that's okay, you're going to be the start of it's going to be the start of something big for them.
Have you gotten any real hate from people on the right? Because I think for me, one of the things that was kind of surprising was that really didn't happen. Yes, there's this very tiny sliver of anonymous weirdos on Twitter who seem to be on the right and hate gays. But in reality, whether I was sitting down with Ben Shapiro, who has a different religious perspective on gay marriage, let's say, or scary Glenn Beck, or any of these people, I found nothing but support. I found nothing but humanity and decency. I go to evangelical events and get standing ovations. Like, I just find tolerance there, even though perhaps they have some of them have perhaps a different religious belief.
Yeah, I people are gonna think I'm lying and grifting for this, but like, I really haven't had any bad experiences yet. Like, even when like you said, you disagree with them, they're like, okay, I don't agree, but I still love you. I still respect you as a person. Okay, like, I'm pro-choice. I'm always going to be pro-choice because I'm a traditional feminist. Not these crazy third and fourth wave feminists. Oh my God. But yeah, I think, I think it's much better on this side overall. Like, I haven't really had any, like, even I met up with Ben Shapiro in LA, and he said the most Ben Shapiro thing to me ever. And his little, how he talks.
Give me a Ben Shapiro impression. Come on.
I'm gonna try, but he was like, the conservatives haven't cared about gays since like 1990, right? Like, like so quickly, like, and he shook his head. He did one of those things, like, we don't care anymore, right? Yeah. And I was like, oh, now I know. Like, I didn't know before, but he's like, yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I don't know if you know my story of meeting Trump. I met Trump in 2019, right before Christmas, And when he realized that I was gay, I was standing with David, and he got up, he slapped his hands on the table. He goes, I just want you to know, I don't give a shit, and I don't think anyone else gives a shit, and I don't think they've given a shit for 20 years. And I was like, oh,
that's accurate.
This is the homophobe. This is the homophobe in chief.
Yeah. I don't think, like, he's a New Yorker, and I don't know any New Yorker that gives a shit about who's gay. Like, none of them give a shit. In fact, they'll probably like you more because you're gay, because you're like, you offer some new perspective, and that's very New York. You know how, because you're a New Yorker, like that's a very New York thing. Yeah. Are
you hopeful that we'll get through this thing? I mean, I'm with you that if everyone just spoke up, that's the only way to stop it. There's no like magic white knight coming. But are you hopeful that people will actually do it?
I'm always going to be hopeful but you know what? If I'm wrong, that's just more job security for us, right? We just can keep making deals.
I say it all the time, and I honestly mean it. I would much rather things get fixed, and I'll find something else to do if I have to. I really do mean that. Yeah.
If I can go back to talking about lesbian sex, yeah. That's just as good in my opinion. Instead of doing damage control.
I'm not gonna ask you about that. I'm very confused about the whole thing, frankly.
Okay.
But I think it's great that you're doing it.
There's so much to talk about. Like so much. Guys, it's so simple.
You're also on local, so I wanna pimp that out, because you decided that you can't be beholden to the big tech machine, because you've had some stuff censored, right?
Oh yeah, I've been demonetized I think 3 times for like a month at a time over the last 2 years.
Like your entire channel, not just random videos, like your whole catalog. Yeah.
Yep. And I've been making the same content for 10 years, so all of a sudden I come out as more conservative leaning, and then they demonetize me. It's a little fishy if you ask me, so. Yeah, something's up.
Is it just Arielle at locals.com?
Yep.
Arielle.locals.com. We'll link to it right down below. Well, listen,
thank you so much, David.
have a very prideful Pride Month. We get a whole month. Isn't that exciting?
It's a long ass time. I'm going to be walking around with a MAGA hat possibly, or some kind of like, I don't know, something, and going into safe spaces. Maybe I'm going to film some stuff. I don't know.
Well, good luck with all of that.
Yeah, thank you.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about women's issues instead of nonstop yelling, check out our Women's Issues playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out our full episode playlist. They're both right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.